I don't know if this just happens in Liga MX soccer or if it happens in the MLS as well. This is the first time in my career that it has happened to me, and honestly, that's something that I'm going through now that has been really, really tough on me. If you're serious about going pro, you really need to know what happens behind the scenes. These are the 4 dark truths about being a pro soccer player. Dark truth number 1, talent isn't enough. Pro soccer is about who can perform consistently under pressure, who literally has the setbacks, the injuries, and the mental toughness aspect, who can work through all of that to be able to perform. It's not easy, it's definitely something hard, but just being talented and thinking that just because you have all the talent in the world, you're gonna make it or you're gonna be that different player, that's not just gonna cut it, and you're gonna have to be different with all these aspects that I mentioned. Tough mentally, you're gonna have to be able to receive the injury, but also how you're gonna get out of the injury, and that's what separates the top players. A lot of the top players consistently perform the same way each game, and honestly, that's what separates them from just good and the best, you know? So that's something really, really tough. And guys, with this whole talent stuff, I would like to share, you know, a personal story with one of my cousins. He actually was one of the best soccer players I have actually ever played with, you know, futsal and, you know, indoor leagues or Mexican league, or even he made the Real Salt Lake Academy before I did in his time, and he had all the talent in the world, but then also a lot of aspects of falling behind with different circumstances in life that hit him in general. He was the most gifted soccer player I've ever played with, you know, and now even I look back and I'm like, dang, like you had everything to be able to become a professional soccer player yourself. But you know, it happens, you know, a lot of the talented players are the ones that fall behind. And that's something that I wanted to share with you guys. Dark truth number 2, the glamorous lifestyle. Honestly, guys, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. Being a professional soccer player isn't easy at all. And if you guys think that just because, you know, you get the paycheck, you get the fame, you get the Instagram followers, you get the TikTok followers, the Twitter followers, all that type of stuff, that's nothing compared to what an athlete goes through daily. You know, we're consistently traveling every single day. One of the hardest things, because you leave family behind, and especially now if you have kids, you know, for those pro athletes that have kids, you leave family behind, you know, and it's just you leave a whole chunk of you back home. Aside of all of that, you know, it's the pre-seasons, the waking up at 7 in the morning or 3 times a day training sessions for preseason. How do we prepare ourselves each day to be able to perform at a top level? It's honestly probably one of the hardest things. There's times, a lot of times, where I talk with my family, with my dad, with my mom, even my wife, and we just, it's just such a hard thing, you know. Daily, you know, they're the ones that are the close ones that see everything we go through. I'm definitely someone to tell you that there's more downs than ups in soccer, and it's just very, very few highs, but I will tell you that when athletes or these pros are at highs, enjoy them, make the most out of them, because they last very little. At the end of the day, we're human, and I'm going through a situation now where I'm not being needed at a club, and you just don't know what to do. You feel worthless, you know, you don't feel like you're a professional soccer player. I am getting paid every paycheck that comes in, but it's something super hard because, you know, I'm not playing, I'm not traveling with the team. And honestly, that's something that I'm going through now that has been really, really tough on me. But everyone sees my smiles on Instagram stories, you know, with my daughters, with my wife and all that type of stuff. But to be honest, you know, that there's more than what I'm going through on social media, you know, and that's something that's really, really hard to swallow now. But I do believe that in the near future, everything will change, and we're gonna be looking at this video and say, you know, I remember when this was going on, and you know, the future has something better to come, you know? So dark truth number 3, your career can be over in an instant. And honestly, guys, when you're a professional soccer player, you also have a lot of power of having connections, you know, and a lot of soccer players tend to get into partying, enjoying life in general, doing things that you wouldn't do when you didn't have money, or even I would say you wouldn't have the same friends or type of stuff when you're in high school or anything like that, you know. So honestly, guys, your career can be very short, and you can lose it all as well. If you end up taking the wrong steps with friends, with alcohol, with clubbing, with partying, all that type of stuff, it can add up. And honestly, That's something that I've learned since I was younger. I would take a lot of those decisions, and I would do a lot of those things, and honestly, I came to a conclusion that they were no good for you, you know? And so any little mistake now can cause your career to be over, just like anything. It's a contract. You can't be doing anything that can harm the contract, such as even ride a motorcycle or even go snowboarding if you live at a winter place, just like I do. There's honestly things that can just ruin your career. And this even adds up with injuries. You know, you never know when you can have ending career injury, you know? So with that being said, that's another thing that, you know, that's super tough in an athlete. You always have to be aware. You always have to be able to take care of yourself. You know, a lot of things can happen, accidents can happen, but how do you manage yourself to be able to be strong and obviously take the right decisions to be healthy, and obviously, you know, have the right path to be able to find, you know, good surroundings, I would say. And with this whole thing, just like I share my thoughts in every point, I actually had almost career-ending injury. You know, when I was about 11 years old, I tore my whole hamstring in half. Honestly, the doctor told my dad that it would be a miracle if I were to be able to play soccer ever again, you know, and I was only 11, 12 years old. I got more than 500, 600 stitches because you know, they sewed everything back together, not just, you know, the out of the skin, but also the layers of my hamstring, you know, and that was probably one of the hardest things that I had ever gone through, you know, in my life, and that could have ended my career. But yeah, that was something that has been crazy. You know, people that are from Park City, Utah know that back in the day, there was no, you know, primary hospital. There was a clinic, you know, and that was about it, you know. And so when I got to the clinic, you know, it was something crazy, you know, gushing blood and all this. And that same clinic took me in an ambulance down to Salt Lake City, Utah. And, you know, I wouldn't just necessarily tell you guys that it was just the injury, but imagine, guys, you know, I come from a family that, you know, had always, you know, done their part to be able to give me everything, you know, with financially and everything, and you know, this took a big hit towards our family, you know. And so that's something that I'm always grateful about, you know, what my parents did for me, all the stuff they've done for me, able to be the person I am now. I think that I wouldn't be who I am without them. So that's honestly a touching story, right? Because, you know, that could have ended my whole career before I even started, you know, my professional career. So yeah, it's a tough one for sure. Dark truth number 4, guys, not everyone will support you, right? And I think that this is one of the most important points for me, because sometimes you're playing against the haters. There's friends that are maybe call you friends but are not friends, that are wishing upon you the most terrible things, or, you know, even same family members that are jealous, or friends that are jealous, or coaches that don't want to play you, or anything in the world that has to do with you not being able to succeed. You know, that happens in the professional environment. I'm happy to say that, you know, I've been lucky to be the person I am. I always wish, you know, whoever plays in my position the best, because at the end of the day, we're at the same team, we're in the same club, and, you know, if the team does well, we all do well, right? So with that being said, you know, that point is really important. Why? Because you always have to surround yourself with important people, you know, with your family, with your friends. You know, you have to find the right people that help you mentally, physically, to be able to tell you, you know, you're doing this wrong, or you're gonna be able to do this better so you can have a better chance, right? So that's a big point. You know, you always have to find the right surroundings for yourself, and just know there's gonna be doubters. There's gonna be people that will hate you, or hate the way you do things, the way you dress, the way you say things. There's gonna be doubters all the time, 100%. But how do you overcome this? To be able to say, you know, okay, well, whatever, this is what they think, but how am I gonna overcome this, right? So face it how it is, and surround yourself with better people. Guys, and like I mentioned it before in the video, you know, aside of us being pro soccer players, we're humans, right? So we're just like anyone else. We just have different jobs, that's it, honestly. you know, and you know, that's probably the way my father, my mom raised me, is, you know, we're no different from another person. We just have different jobs, like I said, you know. And so with that being said, you know, I always find it, you know, crazy to me where people wish upon bad things on you. You know, at the end of the day, as athletes, we always tend to look at media, or we tend to look at who tags us, or all this type of stuff. And media can always hurt or damage a player's career. That's 100% sure, you know. And so to end with this point, you know, we have feelings as well. We go through it all just like you guys do. And we just want what's best for us and for our family. You know, we never want to do things to harm our club or do anything in general, you know, to harm our career, right? So we make mistakes and we go through it just like you guys do. And honestly, we're all humans. We just have different jobs, guys. And those are my 4 dark truths as a professional soccer player. And if you're one of those looking for that dream and that you don't care, because I know that you guys can do it, and are willing to face all these dark truths, you know, go on and have yourself one, you know. And I would be here, I'll be another person, being proud for you guys, and being that person I can be to be able to tell you guys that it's all possible. If I did it, anyone can do it, right? So whoever is out there, you know, wanting to catch this dream, I wish you guys nothing but the best, and I know that it will be possible. Make sure that you stay focused, stay determined, stay consistent, because it's not just about point number 1, you know, the talent. So if you have all those things and you're ready for it, let's get it. Get up and get it, and don't wait for someone else to write your path for you. You have to write it yourself. And you found this video helpful, please comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. Everyone out there that has that dream, comment what's your biggest fear, what are you going through. I'm here to support you guys, and anything I can help with you guys, I'm here to help, guys. So just remember that once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be giving out either a special jersey or maybe some cleats, whatever it is, for us to hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching.